So Kamala and Vance have set out their plans. How would these realistically play out, and how do they compare? Terry Shilling, president of the American Principles Project, joins us now. Terry, how do they compare?
Well, thanks so much for having me, Chanel. J.D. Vance's plan is very simple. $5,000 per kid per year. Very simple, not a lot of strings attached. Kamala Harris's plan is exceptionally complicated. First and foremost, you get a $6,000 one-time newborn child tax credit for your first year as a baby. After that, it's $3,600 per kid under age 6, so 1 to 5. And then after that, it lowers to $3,000 per kid 6 to 17. And on top of that, there are income thresholds where it starts to phase out after you reach a certain income threshold. It's very complicated. There are lots of strings attached, but this is part and parcel for how the Democratic Party operates. They like to have a lot of control and oversight over every single government program, whereas the Republicans typically like to give more freedom and leeway. They're just giving you a tax break. $5,000 straight up, tax deductible tax credit, and $6,000 for the first year, $3,600 for 1 to 5, and $3,000 for 6 to 17.
Yeah, no, that's a great way to put it. I'm baffled, Terry, about the political division on this debate. Republicans, for the most part, have been kind of sticklers on this topic, and it's not that they oppose tax credits, but they seem to shut it down. I know that there's a lot of political nuance when it comes to trying to push bills that promote child tax credits, but what is that division? Where and why do Republicans put up a fight on some of these issues over the years?
Well, Republicans have typically been the party of big business, right? So if this was framed in terms of business operations, it was, training employees or making capital investments in a factory and buying a new machine. Republicans would love the ability to write all of that off. But when it comes to kids and having, a family, Republicans are a lot more hesitant. It's just essentially they're the party of big business, and they're much more comfortable giving tax breaks to corporations for capital investments. That's where they think the economic growth comes from. But the reality is, I think there's a way to sell this to Republicans. Chanel, the thing is, families are more like a corporation than anyone knows. They have employees known as children that they have to pay a lot of money to feed and train. Families exist for a reason, like corporations, for a reason outside of its own self-interest. Families exist to serve society. It's the building block of society. It's your first community that you're part of. Families, parents are in charge of making sure that their kids are educated. And when public schools, government schools really are not educating our kids, well, we have to take our capital, our tax after-tax investments, and put our kids into private schooling like what I'm doing right now. We're very concerned about the state of our government schools. We don't get tax credits. The very simple way to handle all this, rather than doing education savings accounts or increasing education tax credits, would be just to give parents the write-off, right? Give parents the $5,000 that we spend much more on. Treat families like a business. All the same tax deductions and loopholes that corporations receive, I think families should receive, because, when you have another kid, you have to get a bigger house, you have to get a bigger car, you have to make all these capital investments.
Yeah.
And if you don't give people more breathing room when it comes to having more children, you're going to have a lot fewer children, which is what we're seeing right now. It's a very tough economy to raise a family today.
No, we certainly are. And a few countries who have adopted this kind of incentivizing program to help families grow in their borders have seen great success with programs like this. And a child tax credit, I love the language that we have adopted using this. We're calling it a tax credit, but really it's the government saying, hey, we're going to give you back some of the money that you already earned.
For all our viewers asking where One America News is heading in the future, we would like to introduce you to OAN Live. OAN Live is the best way to stay up to date on all of the hard-hitting, straight-shooting, national and international headlines. And the best part is, OAN Live is only $4.99 per month. All the credible, honest, unbiased reporting One America News offers at a fraction of the cost of cable. Just go to OANN.com to easily sign up for OAN Live and stay informed.